Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Leon from No More Lines. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and watch the video to the very end. This video is a follow-up video to the video I recently made about the VLookup function in Excel. I mentioned that VLookup has one caveat, that you must have the first part of the VLookup formula, the lookup value, it must be within the first column of the table array, which is the second component of the VLookup function. Now, I'm going to show you actually a better version of VLookup, and it's actually a combination of two functions. So I mentioned before that VLookup, it first searches for the lookup value, and then from there it basically the other three options define the return value or the column array to look for. And with that being said, the two functions I'm going to show you now, they do the same thing, but they allow you to look on the right side of the lookup function or the left side of the lookup function. Basically, if it's within a table, you can look on either side. So the first part of it is going to be the match function. So match is, as you can see, there are three components to match. There's a lookup value, which is the same component as VLookup. There's a lookup array, which is actually the same setup as well. And there's a match type. So match works in that it's going to be based off of the lookup value. In this case, it's going to be Bob. The lookup array, in this case, is going to be column A. Now, the difference between match and VLookup is that match, when you do the lookup array, you're going to base it on one column only. So that's the main difference, is that you want to make sure that the lookup array has the lookup value within. If not, it's going to return a not applicable error message. And then there are three different match types. There's a less than match type. There's a which is a 1. There's an exact match, which is a 0, and there's a -1, which is a greater than. And in this case, since we're looking up an exact value, we want to put a 0 here. So it's going to be, again, it's going to be the lookup value, the array, which is the column that the lookup value has to be in. And to make sure that we find an exact match, we're going to put 0 there. So you see here, it returned a number. Now that number, it's actually a row number. It basically tells you which row that value is, and it works the same way that VLookup does. It's based off of how the table is sorted. So it's going to find the first instance of that lookup value. But again, that number is going to be a row number. Now, how you want to add to this is you're going to add in the next function. The next function is going to be index. And index goes in front of the match function. And in this case, the index is going to be where I'm going to reference the column that I want to return. So basically, it's going to look in column 8, in row 8, and whichever column I highlight in the index function, it's going to return that value. So in this case, if I were to reference column C, then it should return QA. Now, what you have to do is you have to wrap the index function within the match function. So you basically select the column, or you type out the column reference that you want to put in there. You do a comma, and then you put a close parenthesis at the very end. And you see here that the index function actually will return the same value as VLookup. So let me show you another example of this. So if I were to insert another column here, and I just call it test, and I just put numbers here, I'll show you that VLookup, you have to define out the first you have to basically set up the array within column B. So you won't be able to easily pull in that test column with the VLookup function, but match index, it lets you do it. So let me show you. So I'll set it up the same way, but I'll type it out as one formula. So we're going to do index A to A. We're going to do match. We're going to do H1. We're going to do B to B, which is the column that the lookup value is going to be 0, and then 2 parentheses at the end. And you see here that it returned a 7. Now it returned a 7 because that test has a 7. So, but to make it a little bit easier, I'll show you that if I put letters here, I'll show you that it actually looks a little bit better. So you see that it returned G, where the value of G is in column A. So again, match index is a much more efficient version of VLookup because you can look on either side of the table. Hopefully you found this helpful. I'm going to put this link in the description box. Sorry, I'm going to put this example in the description box. If you want to use it, you're more than welcome to. Me personally, I recommend using match index because it's just easier to set it up. It's more versatile as a function, and you'll be able to use it the same way. And I'll show you one last thing. Again, it's based off of how it's sorted. So if I were to change the sort, and in this case Bob is the sort, you see that there are two Bobs, right? There's a Bob Morgan and a Bob West. If I were to change the sort to where Bob West appears before Bob Morgan, you're going to see that QA and column J and cell J5 and J7, you're going to see that those values are going to change if I change the sort. So you see here that again, match index has the same rule in that it looks for the first instance, it goes down, it starts in the first row and then it goes down. So it is dependent on how it's sorted. One important thing is that whenever you're using this function, you always want to make sure that there's not any kind of duplication within the data set. If there is, you want to handle it a certain way. Now again, sometimes that's a good thing, because if you want to find a descending or an ascending item, like based off of a date, then you would sort it first and then you would find the most recent match based off of the sort. Now, like I said, that's a very good thing about it. That's more of an access function, but it works really well in Excel. But again, it's based off of the first match based off of how the data is sorted. So I hope y'all have a blessed day. Like I said, I'm going to link this in the description box and as a pinned comment. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to go over anything else. You have a blessed day. You take care.